The suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
This has got to be the dumbest statement. Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot who is lying to us. I believe nothing he says. Ah, they got to fire this dude. Okay, so before I get started in the articles that we have here at hand, I want to show you a video of Charlie Kirk speaking that more than likely gave the other side, or a side, these sides, the sudden urge to not have Charlie Kirk around anymore for people like Cash Patel you just heard speaking. Watch this.
President Joe Biden's Department of Defense will accept 30,000 Afghan refugees into military installations following the collapse of Kabul. Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Political transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Let the country crumble. Do you know there's 5 million displaced people in Afghanistan now? This was all intentional. Joe Biden let it fall apart to now say, oh, I'm so sorry. I guarantee you Joe Biden's speech this afternoon will talk about refugee assistance and relocation support. Now, Joe Biden's going to be scrambling to make good on it, and the liberal media will love it. They'll say, oh, yes, okay, now I get it. Joe Biden is now fixing his own problem. Joe Biden is stepping up, and he's allowing a flow of people from the Middle East into America. Thank you, Joe Biden. You're such a hero. You're so benevolent. You're so respectful. You're so compassionate. Do you see what's going on here? What's going on here is Joe Biden wants a couple 100,000 more Ilhan Omars to come into America to change the body politic permanently. We're playing checkers, and they're playing chess.
Actually, the only thing that I differ is Charlie at the time was just trying to keep it somewhat mainstream, but he knew good and well that the election was manipulated to install Joe Biden so that the powers that be running the Autopen and other things could facilitate this kind of maneuver. Which, by the way, if you, like I said earlier in my other video, if you watched it, there is a country in this world, in this hemisphere of the world, who seems to have a large stake when it comes to American politics to set policy and get us involved in other conflicts that create these situations and able to have these people come over here to destroy this area for them so that they can claim this. I'm not going to name names, but I think you know where I'm talking about. I do know this much. I said it before. They receive money from us yearly through not grants, but through loans, so that this money does not have to have oversight. And then these loans are forgiven, and they buy back our debt, and they make money off of that. It's pretty wild how that works. So let's get into the article at hand here. Yeah, so this is very, 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 very much interesting. I would love to see this become to the fruition of realness, but it says Trump declares any document signed by Biden with the Autopen is terminated. Threatens Biden with perjury charges. Now, like I said, I don't know how effective this is going to be. I don't know if this is going to have to go through courts, or I don't know what kind of activist judge is going to stand up. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe Trump says, you know what, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to see what happens, and I'm going to have a judge that's going to want to put fight up against this, says you can't do that, and then this will force them to have to bring this into the court. This will force Bondi to have to do something. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know, but for some reason we're not getting much action at all out of the Bondi DOJ. We're seeing absolutely zero activity when it comes to anything that's actually useful. For the most part, everything that she's done now has become just irrelevant and stupid. I think Trump is seeing that. But any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the Autopen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated and no further force or effect. The Autopen is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by President of the United States. President Trump said on Truth Social. So it says the radical left lunatics circling Biden around the beautiful resolute desk in the Oval Office took the presidency away from him. I hereby am canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by the crooked Joe Biden. This is what Trump is saying on the Truth Social Post. It says, because people who operated the Autopen did so illegally, Joe Biden was not involved in the Autopen process. And if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, this forces the hand of the Department of Justice and these activist judges to move. And this could bring light to what we all know to be somewhat very, very scandalous. Somewhat. That's kind of redundant. Or an oxymoron, whatever that is. Big words. We'll figure it out. But the emails revealed that Biden staffers made decisions to sign pardons with the Autopen without directly hearing the orders from Joe Biden. They were just, So basically, I think they understand that they're all covering each other. This is what the Trump administration's figured out. He said, I can't really pin it down on anybody, but I know this much. It wasn't Biden that even approved these. And so we do know that he didn't approve a lot of these. And if he tries to say he did, then he'll be perjuring himself, because I think they've got enough conflicting evidence to prove that, which means that he can do this or something. This is very, very interesting. That means there's a good chance a lot of the stuff that we see happening right now. So that could also mean he'll be able to deport a lot of these Afghan nationals that were brought in, maybe under this Biden regime, because he said there's some kind of law that they created or something. I don't know. So maybe there's a possibility that this could change the paradigms. Very interested, and I'll give us a win. Let's check out a win here. This is a win. Then we'll go to Boasberg's herpes, because that's what Boasberg is a case of the herpes. It says here that the Treasury Department to end federal tax benefits for illegal immigrants or illegal migrants, or whatever you want to call these people. I'm laughing because how did that even be a thing? How does that even be a thing? How are they getting a tax return and not being deported? How does that work? I mean, like, for real. And better yet, if that's the case, how could that not be somewhat hijacked to where you just like make up a person and say that they're illegal, and then some dude is just getting tax returns off of money that he laundered somehow? I could just see there's so many things with that. But the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent Friday, he said that his department is working to end the federal tax benefits for illegal migrants at the order of President Trump. The order comes after Trump announced he was placing permanent pause on immigration from third world countries. And this was on the partly claiming that the financial cost of admitting the migrants. Trump's claimed that the migrant earning $30,000 with the green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. So it's like it's costing us dearly. So Bessent said that these refunded portions of some of the income tax benefits will no longer go to illegal migrants, including the earned income tax credit, an additional child tax credit, the American Opportunity Tax Credit, and the Savers Match Credit. So that means that's really good. That prevents them from just coming in here and popping out 75 babies so that they can get all this money back, getting paid to do it. So that's a win. We'll call that a win. We'll see what happens. By the way, if these activist judges step in to do something, that'll force the hand of more legal stuff. So we'll see how this goes. But we've got this herpes that keeps popping up. His name is Judge Boasberg, and he takes the next step toward contempt prosecution in the case against the Trump administration. This is all over gang members that needed to be deported. One specifically would be Alberego Garcia. Cias is however you say that stupid person's name, who was and is a MS-13 gang leader member person who was also involved in human trafficking. And we know this, and this is cut and dry, and he needed to be deported. He was not here illegal at all. Zero zilch. And then you had Boasberg that turned the plane around mid-stroke. And now he's going to try to aim his sights onto Kristi Noem, which he's trying to force Trump to actually prosecute Kristi Noem. This is like, like handing somebody a firearm and saying, okay, take out your friend. That's what this is like, or you're going to get took out. If you don't do your friend in, then we're going to do you in. And so this is basically Boasberg's way of trying to force the hand What's funny is like I almost feel like that'd be the one thing that Bondi acts on is actually prosecuting one of their own. That would be just epic. I would not see that. I could see that coming because that's how this. Well, we had to hurry up and do that. Shh. So we'll see how this rolls, but that's basically the summarization of this article is Boasberg is trying to get Trump to do it. If not, Boasberg's going to do it himself, is what he said. So just make Boasberg do it. Have at it. And, and I actually think that that's Boasberg's plan is to play this out till after the midterms because the way that the Republican Party is so fractured right now and everybody's so at each other's throats because nothing's getting done like it should be, that the Democrats have a really strong chance in taking hold of the midterms and then gaining power. And then you want to see lawfare, buddy? You're going to watch this. And the thing about it is like, this is something that Todd Blanche is going to be on his hands because he did away with all of the looking into lawfare cases and what was happening. He sure did, which means that whenever the Democrats regain power, which there's a strong chance they will because of how the midterms are going to turn out, you're going to see it happen. And this is what Boasberg more than likely is counting on. So we'll see what happens. But, on top of that, Trump confirms his administration is looking at deporting the wife and 5 kids of this dude who shot those 2 National Guardsmen. One of them has passed away. Bless her heart. We pray for her. And maybe that'll be something that will happen here. But this dude's got a bunch of kids he had over here in the United States and very strong ties to the CIA. The CIA probably knew all about this. This is probably some of their handiwork, allegedly. I don't know, guys. But anyways, just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon.